Hi guys, I just wanted to again thank everybody for coming out. My speech is going to be about pants pockets and just the differences between men and women's pockets. If you guys have any questions, you can just raise your hand at the end, but we'll go ahead and get started. First, let me go ahead and pull this up. Pants, pockets, or no pockets? That is the question I mean to ask of you today. Pockets are something that we as people take for granted in our day-to-day life. We have our purses, we have our pockets. Some of you guys, especially in the video right now, we know that sometimes we don't have pockets. So we need to carry our purses or handheld wallets or something of that nature. But at least all my life, I've had to carry all my stuff in a wallet, or I've had to have Brandon hold onto my stuff. I would just want to be able to have pockets of my own to be able to carry my own belongings compared to giving them to somebody else. So from the past to present, pockets have always been worn different between men and women, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about that today. Firstly, I'm going to talk about how the differences between men and women's pockets and what they could potentially hold. As you can see on the picture here, go back. There we go. The picture on the left, he's got pockets in his first jacket that he's wearing, and then he probably also has pockets in his jacket that on the outer red one, where they're always visible. You're always being able to be seen with those. Back in Victoria times, leading to the present day, Christopher Matthew writes that the internal pocket became, for men, a natural form, but on women, it threatened to produce a kind of unnaturalness or deformity. So you guys can see on the right picture, women had these big billowing dresses, and they had to actually make slits in the dresses and have the pockets on the inside, like one of their underwear type attire. And that obviously was a big red flag because men's got to be shown out in public and women's had to be hidden. So the whole time men's are able to be shown just in a social setting, it's also signifying like the growth in these different social settings and the difference between men's and women's clothing. In addition to what I was just saying, men's pockets are relatively the same size throughout history. Like he has big pockets in that picture. If you look at different kinds of jeans for men to try on, they relatively have the same size pockets, whereas women have vastly different size pockets. On average, according to Valerie Lotus in her article on Stellar Magazine published in August 24th, 2018, the average women's jeans pockets measured 5 inches down and 6 inches across, whereas average men's pockets measured 9.1 inches down and 6.4 inches across, which means that that was almost like an extra 3 inches that the men have going down that they can stick their phone, their keys, chapstick, whatever they need to, whereas women's pockets, we didn't have that extra 3 inches to put in there. And yeah, I mean, even from seeing on this, you can see the difference in the sizes. I'll show you guys a bar graph in a second, but all across the board, men's pockets have stayed the same, even through different brands. There might be just 1 or 2 outliers, but for the most part, all men's brand sizes have stayed the same in the way that they do their pockets, whereas women's have just been completely different. And sometimes you'll even get fake pockets. Opposite of my last point, women's pockets have changed in varying sizes, all of which too small to hold anything. Amelia Rosser, a scholar who reviewed the book Pocket, A Hidden History of Women's Lives by Barbara Berman and Ariana Fintax from 1660 to 1900, noted that pockets were personal and private spaces for women who were not able to exert much control over the world around them. This is showing that, all their lives and even up to now, women's pockets have just been socially hidden and even like internally hidden to just not be there. And now it's expressed in just not having pockets at all or having very little pockets. They're shown to no one other than our own selves. And it's blatantly obvious the sex society deemed higher in value by their choice in pockets. Another person that kind of talks about this is A.G. Gardner, author of Leaves in a Wind. He asked his wife about pockets, and after she explains that they weren't used for much, he's like, not to have pockets was bad enough, but to have sham pockets, because as you guys know, sometimes jeans have not pockets. That could either be on the front or the back side, and you just have to kind of deal with it. You have to carry your purse and all that. And it's frustrating because you just want to hold your belongings. Fake pockets were not something men had to deal with when buying their clothes, even back in like Victoria times. So he was like such a strange concept that we have to sew our pockets shut. But overall, there are visible differences between men and women's pockets. Men's pockets are shaped differently, they're different sizes and likeness in comparison to women's pockets. Sometimes we have doodles, sometimes we have bleach on ours, sometimes we have holes and we can't see what's going, we can't have anything in our pockets at that time, but men's pockets have kind of just always stayed the same. These differences, however small, are still going on today. We're getting a little bit better with, telling other clothing companies like, hey, we need proper pockets to hold on to things. But if you go to Target or if you go to Jewel, you might not find the proper attire because you won't be able to find the pockets that you want. It's more so like inclusive clothing brands that are doing it right now. But you guys might be able to find it at, like a Hot Topic or a Windsor or someplace where they still make their own clothes, but they're more inclusive to the person that is trying to wear it. But yeah, again, I wanted to thank you guys for coming out to my speech today. Anybody have any questions before I end here?